Hello, my name's Lynn Mynett, and I'm going to be reading poetry by John Hulme from his Fragments of the Awesome publication, which I think you will find absolutely captivating. Each time I read one of John's poems, which is so organically rooted in prayer, my breath is suspended by the utter beauty and childlike humour, or pain, of each one. John's transparent and insightful truthfulness invited me into profound glimpses of heaven on earth. We stand on hallowed ground. Come, come and be captivated. Fixing John. More panic attacks today, bad ones right out of nowhere, but it's okay, I know why. When the whips fell, he didn't step in to save his own son, the son he loved so much, the son who honoured him with every breath. It must have shaken the very core of the universe when God looked down on the crucifixion. How tempting it must have been just to say, "This is too much, this price is too high, these humans aren't worth it." That was his own son on the cross, screaming for his Father's mercy. But God stuck with the plan. He stuck with a love that stretched way beyond the agony he felt at that moment. So he's not going to spare me a little pain, not when he sees all that glory stretching out across the undiscovered horizons of my heart. I need to hurt right now, I know that. I know he's doing something, and I know it will hurt again before it's finished. I know he's holding me. In Gethsemane, Jesus knew he had to hurt, so he fixed his eyes on God. That's what I have to do. Since I came to Jesus, this is what I have wanted more than anything, to be close to God, to feel his breath on me, to know his fingers curled around mine. And I want to be the John that other people can turn to again. The John who can look at people and see treasure in them and speak of that treasure. God made me like that for a reason. He made me like a beautiful machine. All my life I've sensed glimmers of what I'm here for, felt the song of angels stirring in my cogs and wheels and secret magic jewels. But I've just been playing at it, a child playing with his father's tool set. What I really need, what I've been waiting for all the time, is what's happening now, for God to hit the switch, turn on my engine. How can I worry about hurt if the face of such beautiful truth? Hurt, after all, is always the price we pay to know the divine, because hurt is the currency of this world. It's the stuff we live in, the stuff we trade in, the language we talk. And I guess we kind of have to pay up what's in our vaults before he can fill us with his awesome riches. But one of the great things about running on empty is that when you find yourself unable to pay any more, Daddy gets busy. Compass Fingers by John Hulme. It's hard to let go of things, to see something precious fall out of your life when all you want to do is reach out and grab it back. All you want to do is to touch something that's not there for the touching anymore, to hear a voice that silence and time have stolen from you. It's hard to trust things, to know you can keep being yourself with a bunch of people you know must be getting sick of you, to trust their kindness when you're sure you have started to run out of credit, no matter what you say about grace. It's hard when your compass is spun around and you don't know which way is forward anymore. I am lost, I am spinning, I am broken, and I am unafraid. Because of today, because of now, because of one moment in the spirit of all things, your hand in mine. Imagine a word. Imagine a word reborn at the touch of a lost and rediscovered soul, a bow drawn across libraries, headlines and continents. Imagine a word that could bind the anger still written in our hearts, bridge the endless miles of waterfalls still frozen between our mighty river empires, shoot squadrons of arrowheads out across the ocean pages, write new maps over old tide routes and roll softly home between every sacred breath. Imagine a word singing over an invisible keyboard, rekindling a chorus you thought had long since been washed away by hard rain, hard choices, and heartbreak. Imagine a word so soft and precious against your heart, so warm and fragile between your ribs, so strong and fearless behind your eyes. Imagine a word that makes the silence real again, a word of angels shimmering in its own truth, rewriting itself with every smile reclaimed from the starless, thoughtless sky, rebuilding itself from all those loving fingers that glided home across your broken shoulders and reweaving the world in a fabric not even your dreams could afford. Imagine a word flickering on the far side of forever, a spirit whispering in your ear, waiting for the time of burned-out light bulbs to fall away so that a new language can bathe in its bright, poetic torchlight. Imagine a word strong enough to hold your soul when all the other sentences have died, a new creation clicking into place where all the other words just lied. Always overwhelmed. You pulled me back from the abyss, sewed my heart back to an empty space, and left me overwhelmed. You took me to the scary place, washed away the fear, and left me overwhelmed. You brought back my spirit and my hope, with a handful of grace on my shoulder and a small river of prayer. You left me overwhelmed. You lit a fire in a broken cup, forged steel in weeping clay, and made me stand when the world told me to beg. You left me overwhelmed. I am calmer when the walls fall, bolder when the tears fall, and always just a little overwhelmed. In you, I see your heart. I glide your vaulted chambers like a kite, like sunshine through a cool breeze. I run up and down your secret staircase, play catch across the bridge of wonders, between your damp, magnificent eyeballs. I see your heart, your beat cathedral, your light, in the land of blind rhythm. I swim your pulse like a tiny fish on the sculpted borders of eternity. For I am the smallest and most intimate of gods, and you are the biggest and most gracious of hosts. I see your heart, like a small explorer, glowing with joy at the treasures I find there, even when you crumble, even when you cry. For his smile. When the world sends me curses, I raise my praises to a higher place. When the world leaves me lost, I take one step back to my soul, and he finds me. I stand in him. Whatever the world does, I stand in him. When I praise him, my spirit finds its purpose and its home. When I praise him, I shine and he smiles. I have shivered on dark roads, on chilly streets, and in bright faces full of lies. And in his arms I have smiled. With every stumble I will raise my voice anew for his praise and his smile. Nightlight. Like a light, one step back from the stretcher you nurse me, melting the ice of wounds and shell shock from my heart. And I break like shingle underfoot. Like a hand, one step back from my shoulder, you hold me, lighting the path of slave ships from the shore. And I glow like torchlights in the mist. New campfires for my comrades, new beacons for the lost. Like a bridge, one step back from the thunder, you carry me over the fields of lightning to the sunset, over the place where darkness used to sting. The stuff we give. Some days I barely scrape by. On other days, however, I get the chance to pass a blessing on to someone who needs it more. I get the chance to give. The really special thing about living in the Spirit, I have discovered, is that the more stuff seems to be taken from you, the easier it becomes to give away what's left. Well, most of the time anyway. My mother used to say I was a giver, and that this is often a world of takers who don't understand that. Since she died, it has occasionally felt as though I have started to lose that. It feels sometimes as though I have nothing to give. Even worse, though, is the days when it seems like the world simply doesn't want what I have to offer. There is victory in my soul, of course. I have healed a great deal on my walk with God. I have let go of much that might once have sent me spiralling into despair. Nevertheless, I still feel those empty places occasionally, even in the most precious of circumstances. Things can still crowd in, niggle at my intentions, throw up sneers or roadblocks or criticisms. I can still feel a little lost, even in the knowledge that I now have an anchor to hold me firm. I can still feel a little scared, even as the river of boldness pours into my spirit. But that's okay. The most precious thing you can give is often the most delicate. In fact, sometimes you have to give it away to see just how powerful it is. I guess that's why those people through whom the Spirit flows like a mighty river look the way they do. Have you noticed? They rarely look like river valleys. They usually look like sparkling little streams.